Going up. Yep. Can you hear us now?
Testing.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
I just don't want the mics on until we're ready.
Check. Okay, there we go.
Can I turn them off?
I don't think you have a mute button.
I do.
Oh,
I
you do?
over- Yeah, all good.
Check,
Yes.
check. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Check on the mic. 1, 2, 3. Check. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Mark, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yep. Nate, can you hear us? Nate might be away from the camera.
Yep,
There you
I can
go.
hear you. Thank you.
Okay, then I think we are almost ready to start. I just want to make sure we get ourselves up on YouTube.
So you're gonna call for a motion for everything. We're not eyeing and name.
We're gonna do signs.
I'm not gonna do that.
We're on
Keep it
YouTube?
the table.
Okay. Then we're.
Oh, hi. Yes, I'll ask you to call the roll.
Okay. Ready when you are.
Deep breath.
All right, good evening, everybody. I am Mark Berry for the evening. Welcome to our regular board meeting for February 22, 2022. It's kind of fun. Carrie, can you call the roll, please?
Yes, Andy Duran here, Ann Hill,
Present.
Mark Berry,
Present.
Gary Steinbach, present, Tim Penich,
Present.
Amy Connell Donahue,
Present.
Lauren Hirsch, present.
All right, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome, everybody. Public comment is usually at this portion of the meeting. Not have anyone, I believe, giving public comment here.
No
Anyone
live
online?
comment and no comment submitted electronically. I'm just checking to see if there's anyone on Zoom. But I don't believe so. I don't think so.
Okay, then no live public comment and no one on Zoom. We will move on. At this point in the meeting, we usually ask for an addition of a discussion item. So does anyone on the board have anything they want to add to a future agenda or discuss? Not hearing any, let's move on to our reports. Mrs. Bay, would you like to start tonight?
Hi, everybody. Good evening. I think the 2/22/22 has a nice ring to it. We had several staff members wearing tutus today, which was a cute spin on today's date. And Lauren Hirsch was kind enough to drop one off for me, so I wore a tutu for a portion of the day. My update is a little more lighthearted and but also serious in the level of gratitude. So just want to stop and thank all of our parents for supporting our staff and students throughout really the entire school year, but more specifically throughout last week and the week before. PTO supported Valentine's Day parties and had volunteers throughout the building on the 14th, helping to make sure that those were an exciting event and a great party for all to spread kindness. PTO treated the staff to lunch during parent-teacher conferences. So a nice opportunity to come together and enjoy some Donati's pizza and salads. And there was also what I might call just a just because lunch that was delivered to all staff from Panera, and that occurred on Thursday. Just a really nice treat to show appreciation, and all of that goes a really long way. So we're grateful for our PTO, for our parents, just supporting us with food and kindness. Last week was also Kindness Week at LBES, and so just an opportunity to spread some joy throughout the building. We had staff wearing kindness t-shirts throughout the week if they had them. Affirmations were passed throughout the school, notes of kindness and gratitude. So I think that this is something that should be occurring all of the time, but it really felt very empowering and positive to be able to just pause and really show appreciation through kind words. So grateful for everyone that was able to participate in that week. That's my update for tonight. Thanks, everybody.
Wonderful, thank you. Mr. Blackmer, do you have a middle school report?
I do. Thank you. I'll keep mine brief, but I want to, of course, echo what Kelly has already said. We are so grateful for the support of our community, support of our PTO. Obviously, food during conferences was wonderful, and really just wanted to voice the same from Lake Bluff Middle School. I also wanted to highlight something that we did last week. We have our annual career day, and we had almost 30 members of our community and some from well beyond our community who volunteered their time to meet with students and talk about their careers and what they do professionally, make themselves available both in person and some zoomed into classrooms as well. This was something that we did on that early dismissal of conferences. And just really wanted to thank, and I can't go through the whole list tonight, of course, but thank all of those who offered up their time. It's such a great experience for our kids to be able to have those sorts of interactions. We've gotten a wide variety of folks who've come to be part of Career Day, everything from law enforcement to scientists to doctors to pilots to Homeland Security people and FBI agents. It's always a great menu of options. I need to thank Heather Comack, who takes the lead on organizing it. It was just a real success this year, and our students provided some fantastic feedback. We offer up an opportunity for them to just kind of tell us how the experience went for them. And it was just glowing feedback from our students. So we're really appreciative of that as well. And that's it. That's my, and by the way, board members or anyone else that might be listening, this is an annual thing for us. So if anyone either is interested in being part of Career Day next year or knows somebody that they think might be a nice addition, keep an eye open. We'll be reaching out mid-year next year and start to recruit once again. So thank you, everybody. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Our Director of Finance, Mr. Khan.
Okay, I have a quick report. We're looking at extending our contract with Olson Transportation for next year. They're still waiting to hear back from their insurance carrier on their new rates before we discuss pricing, but pretty much all other school districts have been seeing double-digit increases in transportation contracts for next year. So I'm anticipating a large increase. I just wanted to prepare the board for that. But we had not heard numbers yet. And then I also wanted to update you on the solar project potential at the middle school. Well, actually, and at the elementary school. We had our architects do a study and came back, and it currently does not look financially feasible enough to warrant doing a structural analysis. That was kind of the next step. But they're going to go back and look for grant opportunities or other funding sources, because if we could get enough funding to pay for the panels, then it might be financially make sense. But at this point, it's not viable enough to warrant spending the extra money to do the research on the architecture and the structural analysis.
Hey, Jay, can I ask a question?
Sure.
The structural analysis, that's just, can the building, if it was a roof mounted system, can the building support it? Is that what we're looking at?
That's what we're looking at. Can the building support it? Are all the areas that they assumed that they could put panels, are they available for panels? Because there could be obstructions or other things in the way. And then looking at the roof condition. So if we need a new roof in a couple of years, it wouldn't make sense to put solar panels on yet. We might have to do some roofing work first. So those were the key parts of that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. No president's report this evening. Dr. Leali, do you have a report?
Sure, really quickly, just two things. I sent the board an email late this afternoon from Dr. Montgomery in Lake Forest. Both districts, as you might know, are working together with us on the Portrait of a Learner project, but also they've involved us in the facilities project at the high school. And there is a facilities community forum on March 1st from 6 to 7 p.m. They want us to be aware so that they want us to be involved if we can. And so I sent the flyer today, and I just want to make sure that you get a chance to take a look at that. You do have to RSVP. And then another, just a quick update. The situational masking and the transition to mask recommended has gone fairly smoothly in both buildings. Really appreciative of the support of the community in adhering to the required mask situations. As a reminder, and I put it out in my Friday email, that there are going to be certain situations, potentially with spacing difficulties, small group instruction, or certain high-risk situations like singing, where we might ask kids to put on a mask. And that will come from the individual teacher depending on the circumstances. And then as things change with weather and we can get outside and things like that. So it continues to evolve, but it's been going very well. And we appreciate all the parents and their support for that. And just a reminder to our parents to keep talking with your child about their preference with masking. We are really reinforcing, as we've talked about, a kind attitude, a respectful attitude of everyone's choices during this time. It's definitely been a more difficult transition for some kids than other kids. And I'll tell you from my own kids' perspective, it's been interesting to hear them and their thought process going into thinking about taking the masks off. It's been a long time at school without masks on. And so we are reinforcing kindness and acceptance. We will not be trying to police or remind kids of their personal preference or what the parents might want to do. It's be too much for our teachers to do that. Instead, we're just asking that parents continue to talk with their children, and as things evolve, that they make their choices based on the conversations that happen at home. And that is all I have for today.
All right, thank you. With that, we can move on to our action items, it looks like. All right, so our first action item tonight is the approval of the LBES playground upgrades. We had discussed these at our last committee of the whole meeting. The administrative team is recommending that the board approve the project to make the playground at LBES accessible for students of all abilities. Do you want to add anything to that, Jay?
Sure. We talked about this project back in September when we were applying for a maintenance grant from the state. We did receive that grant, so $50,000 will go towards the funding of the school, of the playground. This amount that's quoted in here does not include that 50,000, so it would be 50,000 less total net cost to the district. And then I've also expanded the range a little bit. We had a great presentation from fifth graders who studied the issues and made some recommendations. And some of the equipment that they have chosen was not in the original scope that I presented. So we, as a board, have the option to add all of that equipment, add some of it, add none of it, or look for other funding sources like the Alliance or the PTO to fund those things. But approving it up to $150,000 gives us the flexibility to make those decisions going forward.
Okay, fabulous.
And I know in the quotes it talked about that the estimates weren't, with all the volatility of thing costs and stuff, the estimates didn't last that long. Do you anticipate any, like, the labor or material prices to go up?
I think I don't anticipate a huge increase. I think the vendor had added a 10% increase just to, not because they had seen prices go up, but just to kind of hedge against that in case they did go up. So the numbers that you saw in your packet are already including any kind of increase, and they could be lower than that. And then we were also able to, the current, I think they're calling it a climbing wall, that like big Mobius thing in the, we found I think it's a church in Lake Villa that wants it, so we're able to donate that. And so that will, I think, reduce our costs a little bit.
Great.
So we still need an updated cost on the installation with some of those new pieces of equipment. And then, like, one of the biggest things was just the color of the material makes a big difference in the cost. So we have to decide whether that's worth it or not. But I think adding the extra sunshade is a good option. And then, one of the pieces of equipment we actually couldn't fit. We tried to, and they weren't able to fit it in. So that will be coming out. So there's a little bit of movement, but it shouldn't be significantly
Okay.
more than.
All right, thank you.
Anything else? All right, may I have a motion to approve the LBES playground upgrade plan as presented by administration?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Sure. Lauren Hirsch,
Yes.
Carrie Steinbach, yes. Tim Penich,
Yes.
Amy Connor Donahue,
Yes.
Ann Deneau, Ann Hill,
Yes.
and Mark Berry.
Yes.
All right, the motion passed. Mrs. Bay, can you please let the students who gave us such a wonderful presentation know that that passed tonight? Thank you. Thank you. All right, next up, we have the approval of licensed staffing plan for the 22-23 school year. So the board is asked to approve the licensed staffing recommendation with a net increase of 2.2 FTE plus an additional 1.2 FTE, which is outsourced through our special education cooperative to support an increase in individualized education plans and student needs. Two of the positions are one-year positions to support learning loss and social emotional needs of students and staff, and will be funded through federal COVID relief dollars. Any questions? Anyone have anything on this?
And we did discuss this at our last meeting as well.
Yes.
And as a reminder, those two one-year positions are actually carryover. We had them we have them now, and we'd like to have them. for one more
Actually,
year.
they were funded last year by COVID relief dollars, and because we need them for an additional year, they'll be paid out of district funds. So it's not an increase in FTE, but it is an addition to the budget. And then one of the classroom teachers, or one of the additional staff members is for the pre-kindergarten section that we'll be talking about. We were able to offset that with a classroom teacher. Now we also have a new administrator who's with us this evening, our new director of educational technology and innovation. So that's the other FTE.
And also, if this is approved, the additional FTE for pre-K and EC, we're gonna post it and we're gonna start advertising. But we will not hire until we have a big enough sections for those two half-day programs.
So that'll be dependent on enrollment. All right. May I have a motion to approve the licensed staffing plan for the 22-23 school year as presented by the administration?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Okay, Carrie Steinbach, yes. Tim Penich.
Yes.
Amy Connell Donahue.
Yes.
Ann Hill.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Lauren Hirsch.
Yes.
That's everybody. Motion passed. Next up is the approval of the support staffing plan for the 22-23 school year. The board is asked to approve the support staffing plan with a net reduction of 0.1 FTE. This also was discussed at our last committee of the whole meeting.
Yeah.
Anyone have anything to add?
It's essentially the same staffing.
Yeah,
at this point.
this contains this contains one FTE teaching assistant for the pre-K section. And then it's offset by the removal of a health aide at the middle school who we've not hired. We approved it for this year, and it doesn't look like we were able to hire it or need it for next year. And then just some other miscellaneous small changes in some current part-time staff.
All right, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the 22-23 school year support staffing plan as presented by administration?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Tim Penich.
Yes.
Amy Connell Donahue.
Yes.
Ann Hill.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Lauren Hirsch.
Yes.
Carrie Steinbach, yes.
Motion passed. All right, approval of support staff salary adjustments is our next item up. So again, we have previously discussed this. The board is asked to approve the administrative recommendation to make a market adjustment to the salaries of aides and school secretary employee classes to increase our ability to attract and retain employees. This market adjustment would be effective March 1, 2022, and the salaries will be in effect through June 30, 2023.
We talked about this briefly in open session, but we also talked about it in closed session in terms of the particulars of what we're trying to do. But essentially, these are difficult positions to fill. We want to retain people for a length of time. We want them to stay with us, and we also want them to know how valued they are, and they really make a big difference for kids and teachers. And so we believe this adjustment, doing it now, will be helpful to keep our folks here and hopefully here through the summer. And we're still kind of discussing other ways that we can work towards retaining folks for longer. But we think this is going to be a good thing for these two classes of employees.
I have a question. Can I know we discussed this at the committee of the whole last time, so it is part of the public record, but just for the vote, could administration just highlight the net cost, the net additional cost to the district of these changes?
So about 140,000 per year. And the cost from March 1st through the end of the year will be about 50,000 for total compensation for all the employees.
And will we need, I think I asked this last time, but I think it's relevant. Will we need to file an amended budget for this year because of this change?
We should not need to file an amended budget. These changes would be smaller than the change required for an amended budget. And we still have some unfilled positions, which is one of the reasons we're doing this. And so we're actually behind budget. So we may even be able to fit these amounts within our current budget.
Thank you.
Anything else? May I have a motion to approve the support staff salary adjustments as presented by the administration?
So moved.
A second. Roll call, please.
Who? You? Okay. Sorry. Amy Connell Donahue,
Yes.
Ann Hill,
Yes.
Mark Berry,
Yes.
Lauren Hirsch,
Yes.
Carrie Steinbach, yes, Tim Penich.
Yes.
Motion passed. Sorry, I forget to say that one again. All right. Next is the approval of the district calendar.
We need to table this item, so I'm sorry to the board. We do have a calendar drafted. It's in the packet. We typically give our LBTC a good amount of time to just talk it over and present us with any feedback. The calendar is aligned to the high school's winter break and spring break. It's just sort of, we're thinking through the beginning, start and end times. And we were not able to give them enough time. So we will bring this back to the March meeting and be able to have a vote at that point. If there are any amendments, I'll send them to the board ahead of time.
Okay, thank you. Then moving on to the approval of the District 65 Board of Education calendar for the 22-23 school year. We've all had a chance
Yeah.
to look at this.
This is just essentially our meeting dates for regular meetings and committee of the whole. Obviously, as you know, we can add meetings if we need to. And if we don't have any agenda items specifically for committee of the whole meetings, we don't have to have those meetings. There was an adjustment on the June end, just to make sure that we have a good spacing between our end of year meetings and the beginning of the year meetings so that we can pay our bills on time, which is important. So we appreciate the adjustment to that.
May I have a motion to approve the Board of Education calendar for the 22-23 school year as presented?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please, Carrie.
Ann Hill,
Yes.
Mark Berry,
Yes.
Lauren Hirsch,
Yes.
Carrie Steinbach, yes, Tim Penich,
Yes.
Amy Connell Donahue.
Yes.
Motion passed. Next item up is the approval of the administrator contract for the Director of Educational Technology and Innovation for the 22-23 school year.
If you don't mind, I would love to introduce, I'm thrilled to introduce Margaret Ryan. We are presenting to the board tonight to be our new Director of Educational Technology and Innovation. Just as a little bit of background, Margaret's definitely been through a rigorous interview process. We had over 30 applicants that we narrowed down to, I think, 6 or 7 on the first day with an administrative team interview. And then 3 candidates came back to do a 3-round interview with teachers, staff, administrators, and some board members. And all 3 were excellent candidates, and Margaret just kind of rose to the top. She definitely impressed the whole group. We all connected with her, feel like she's going to really bring some amazing ideas and energy to our team. And so we are really excited to have her here tonight. She's had lots of experience in this area. She's coming to us from St. Michael's Parish as their Director of Technology, but she's also worked in many different school districts in the area, including Arlington Heights, Rockford Public Schools, and our own St. Mary, School of St. Mary in Lake Forest. And so she is comfortable with the area and I think excited to start. And so we're just thrilled to have her.
Welcome.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Dr. Leali, could you highlight, this is a new position. So could you just kind of at a high level explain why it's necessary in this day and age to create a new position for this kind of work and what that role will entail?
Yes, so this conversation's been a long time in the making for our administrative team. Paul Sanchez is in the back. We've been talking a lot with him and just the technology of needs of the district as they've changed over time. And we feel that this increase is going to help support and just push us to the next level. This district has always been a leader in terms of technology integration. And we were one of the first as a one-to-one district. So there's been a lot of movement over the years. And obviously COVID was a little bit of a setback in some sense, but also we learned a lot. We just want to make sure we take those new skills and move ourselves along the path. But in addition to the educational tech side, there are a lot of new requirements and compliance issues that school districts are having to deal with right now. And the additional position is really needed to help support our admin team and families and students with just myriad issues surrounding educational technology right now. And so, as Mark said, when we started talking about this a very long time ago, it's hard to imagine not having someone kind of overseeing in a robust department that can help support all these different aspects of technology in a school district. And it's really very needed. And we think Margaret's going to do an excellent job.
Thank you.
That being said, may I have a motion to approve the administrative contract for the new Director of Educational Technology and Innovation for District 65 as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mark Berry,
Yes.
Lauren Hirsch,
Yes.
Carrie Steinbach, yes, Tim Penich,
Yes.
Amy Connell Donahue,
Yes.
and Ann Hill.
Yes. Motion passed. Welcome, Margaret Ryan.
Welcome, Margaret.
Congrats. Thank you. Welcome. Congrats.
When Margaret or when Mark gets back in.
It's so fun.
All right, next up, we have the personnel, is that right? Yep, personnel report, which we have all seen is in the packet, in the public packet as well. Anything we want to add to this?
I would like to highlight one of the employees on the personnel report, Miss Amy Kotnick, who is coming to us from nonprofit as an operations manager in Highland Park. But she's also had experience as a school front office secretary in North Shore District 112. And Amy and I just connected right away. I think she's going to be an amazing addition to the district office staff. As you know, our staff are lean. We only have a few people in that front office. And I think Amy's gonna bring just a ton of energy and great organization, attention to detail, great ideas. We've already kind of talked about some different communication aspects of the position and experiences that she's had that are really gonna enhance our operations at the district office. So I'm really excited to present to the board tonight, Amy Kotnick, as not only my administrative assistant, but also the board secretary moving forward.
Welcome.
Welcome. We look very forward to working with you. May I have a motion to approve the personnel report?
And
Personnel.
Oh,
sorry to interrupt. You do have to
All
read
right.
it.
We got it.
I don't got it.
I have it.
Here.
Here. I've got it.
I forgot. Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Good luck with the names.
It's okay.
Okay, so. Did I say resignation? All right. So we have two resignations tonight. Shelley Goff, admin assistant to the superintendent and board of education, and John Reifenberg, who's a permanent substitute. They both have effective, Shelley effective February 16, John effective February 10, both leaving for another job opportunity. Okay. Then support staff new hire, we have Amy Kotnick, as we just discussed, admin assistant to superintendent and board of education. She'll be in the district office effective February 28, replacing Shelley Goff.
Yes. Yep. At an annual.
Annual salary of $29,095.51,
Which is prorated.
prorated for this year. I'm gonna hold my hand.
You're good. You're doing good. Keep going. I gotcha.
We also have licensed new hires, Catherine Learman as a permanent substitute, effective February 7, replacing John Reifenberg. Annual salary rate of $20,108.90, which is prorated for this year. And licensed new hire, Margaret Ryan, Director of Educational Technology and Innovation, effective July 1. This is a new position, annual salary of $128,000. Then we have some leaves. Elaine Ellis, music teacher at Lbes, effective from February 2nd through the end of the year, unpaid leave for personal reasons. Samantha Marshall, she's a teacher at Lbes, effective on May 21 through October 23, 2022 for FMLA. And Paul Sanchez, our IT and data specialist from the district office, effective March 15th through April 4, 2022 for FMLA. All right, now may I have a motion to approve the personnel report for February 22, 2022, as presented by administration.
So moved.
Second. All right.
Roll call.
Yes. Carrie Steinbach, yes. Tim Penich,
Yes.
Amy Connell Donahue,
Yes.
Ann Hill,
Yes.
Mark Berry,
Yes.
and Lauren Hirsch.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Welcome, Amy.
Yay.
Welcome, Amy.
5 minutes left.
Welcome.
We only have about 5 minutes. Unless we have lots of questions on the consent agenda.
Don't even say. All right, so our next item up is the consent agenda, which consists of open session meeting minutes from January 25 and February 8, closed session meeting minutes from January 25 and February 8, the treasurer's report, the impressed report, the bills report, and the P card report. Does anybody have anything to comment or ask about those?
And board member expenses. You also need to read. You have to approve board member expenses by roll
P
call
card
vote.
report and board member expenses.
Oh. All right. P card report and board member expenses. Do I have anything I have to read for that?
She doesn't have to read
No.
anything specific. It's just that we have to say it's included in the P card report. this month.
Understood. Okay, so that is the P card report and board member expenses. Nobody has anything to add? May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda for February 22, 2022, as presented by administration? So moved.
Thank you. Second.
Roll call vote.
Ann Hill,
Yes.
Mark Berry,
Yes.
Lauren Hirsch,
Yes.
Carrie Steinbach, yes. Tim Penich,
Yes.
Amy Connell Donahue.
Yes.
Motion passed. FOIA requests. We did receive 2 FOIAs this month. The information is in the packet. Any questions on those? Do we have any public comment online or in person?
Nothing's been submitted. We have no one in person, and I don't believe we have any on Zoom either.
All right. Does anyone have anything further to add before we call for adjournment? Well, then, may I have a motion to adjourn the February 22, 2022 regular Board of Education meeting at 7:34 PM?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
All right, Mark Berry,
Yes.
Lauren Hirsch,
Yes.
Sorry.
Carrie Steinbach, yes. Tim Penich,
Yes.
Amy Connell Donahue,
Yes.
and Ann Hill.
Yes.
Well
Motion
done, Ann.
passed. Good night.
Thanks, Ann. Thanks for your help. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good
Night,
night.
everybody.